Anachronics. Anachronic comics. I at least two of those were right. At least two of those were correct.
Anachronic.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to All Together Now.
Anachronic comics.
Reggie will get it right. I want to thank Reggie. I asked him if I could splice that into the introduction, and he said go for it. So he's a good guy. So I'm thankful that he decided to say yes, because I think most people on that show, what was it? Was it last Wednesday I was on?
Yes.
I looked at the comments, the live stream, and everybody was trying to say, do it this way and make sure you whisper it and all the rest of that type of stuff and all that. So that was kind of fun to do. So welcome, guys. Here's the comic book crowd -2 that will join us soon. So let's just introduce ourselves, starting with this guy.
Is that me? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Hey
you.
guys, I'm Alan, Climbing Comics. Just glad to be here again with this great crew of comic collecting lovers and just talk about variant covers today. Excited.
Variant covers. Mr. W.
Collecting lovers. I like that. How many lovers have I collected so far?
I don't answer that. Hi, everybody. Wayne, Squirrel Madness Comics. Happy to be here for episode 8 of our group. And I'm really happy to talk variants and comics in general with my really good friends here. So this is awesome.
Yeah.
Right. So Master and Madam Blaster will be with us soon. They're probably doing too much Matt Woods, I'm saying right now. That's all I got to say. You know? Well, let's see who's joined us so far. Okay, so we have Paul, Psychedelic Comics. Hey, Paul, how are you? Good to see you. Daniela, who said she's going to be here. And I understand, you're going to ask some questions. So that's going to be really great.
Oh, I put her on the spot.
I always do that. Chuck, how you doing, Chuck?
Hey, Chuck.
Good to see you.
Hey, Chuck.
Randy is here at
Super
work, so
talented.
you won't chat much. You know, Randy, that's okay. I'm glad you're here anyway. And Tina.
Hi, Tina.
How you doing?
Hey, Tina.
That's great. I think that's all we got with us right now, which is okay. So before we get started with our great topic here, I just wanted to mention this weekend, actually on Monday, is Memorial Day. Okay. And as we know, Memorial Day is, I wanted to bring this up. I was hoping that Steve would be here, but at least we have Matt here. Veterans Day really is for you guys, for the active people. Memorial Day really is not a celebration. It's a day that it's a solemn day that we contemplate all those who sacrificed themselves for our freedom. And I put together a little video to show for that. So let's take a look. Themselves for our freedom. And I put together a little video to show for that. So just a little tiny video just to say, let's just remember those that came before us. I mean, without them, we wouldn't have the freedom that we have today. And Matt was so taken aback by it that it looks like he fell down on the job here, but we'll get back to him. All right, in any event. So our topic for today is variant comics. So as now I have to tell people that I'm unfortunately, let me see if I could grab it here. Yeah. Unfortunately, I lost the, oh, here we go. Let's welcome some people. There they are. Steve and Stephanie. How you doing?
Hey everybody.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello. We lost Joe.
I know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
What is going on?
Like whack-a-mole.
I know it is like whack-a-mole.
All
Hey,
right,
Wayne,
wait.
you've got something on your chin, buddy.
Yeah, I thought I'd change it up a little bit. I don't know.
Awesome.
I don't have anything up here, as you know, Steve, to play with, to try different things out. So this is the only thing I can play with.
Yeah, looks good. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
All right. So one of the things let me just start. Well, I know Steve and Stephanie want to say hello to everybody because everybody said hello already. So I'll give you the chance to do that.
Yeah. Cheers, Matt Woods.
Woods.
See, what did I say?
We're
Matt
here.
Woods.
All right, let me see something here.
I also like the shirt, Wayne.
Oh, thank you very much.
Perfect Friday shirt.
Got my flamingo
Yeah.
action happening. So
Nice.
Yes.
it was either this or the one that I have with like squids, octopus, and shrimp on it. I hadn't decided, so I went with flamingos.
Tasty.
Yeah. I have this funky hat that I wear sometimes too that I got, so I always feel like I look like a middle-aged rock drummer.
Nice.
Especially
All right, I
this
think I'm
one.
okay.
You okay?
Hopefully Matt Woods will come back, but we'll have to wait and see. So we're talking about variants, and one of the things we want to talk about is whether it's good or bad for the hobby, right? So I'm sure you guys probably know this already, but what was the first variant cover that came out?
I actually don't
Ever.
know. Ever?
There it is.
Oh,
It's
really?
Wow.
It's Man of Steel #1.
I actually didn't know
All right. So it's Man of Steel. So after Crisis on Infinite Earths, all right, which, as everybody knows, instead of having, all the craziness, they tried to put everything back into its place. What happened at that point in time is all the major DC heroes, maybe even some minor heroes, had to kind of go back, and their origins had to be restated. All right. We got Matt Woods back. All right, good.
Hey, Matt.
So, not that I know all this stuff, but I wrote it down so to make sure I have it right. So, DC's major characters and franchises needed to reflect the changes that happened in Crisis on Infinite Earths. So, there were multiple story arcs that came out from DC. So, Man of Steel was for Superman. And we know that George Perez's Wonder Woman came out at that time, too, where she was recon. Suddenly, she became essentially a child of the gods and all that type of stuff. And Batman Year One with Frank Miller. These were the three big comic books that came out at that time. And Man of Steel featured these two different covers, and John Byrne, who wrote the story, also drew them with Dick Giordano inking both of them. And really all they did was take a piece of this one and put it over here. But that was the first one. And it sold like hotcakes. And so then Marvel got into it, and then DC got into it. And suddenly we ended up with the craziness, I think, that we have today. What I'll tell you, though, is, as I was looking at some stuff about this, that people have been, quote unquote, complaining or concerned or what have you about this going way back to the crash that happened in the 1990s, basically. Yeah. And so it's been an issue that's been discussed and put into play for a while. So I got some ideas about it, but I'm just wondering what you guys think.
Well,
anything on this?
I was just gonna say, like, I know from my time collecting, I stopped collecting right around the time that things like that started to happen, whether it was multiple covers, like I stopped collecting around the time the Spider-Man, Todd McFarlane Spider-Man series came out. So then you had the gold cover, the silver cover, the standard cover, and I felt like I had to have them all, and it really annoyed me. And it was also the time when all of a sudden you might have 3 Spider-Man titles. So they would have a story that would come across all 3 Spider-Man titles. And that started to happen more and more. And that with the variant cover thing is one of the things that made me go, well, I'm going to university. I have better things to spend my money on. I'm leaving comics. It drove me away. Is part of the reason it drove me away. Part of the reason it drove me away was like, oh, come on, this is getting ridiculous. How many covers are you going to have? 3 covers? What the hell? Then I came back to the hobby like 4.5, 5 years ago, and I'm like, 40 covers? 100 covers? Okay, I guess I had it good. I didn't even know it. So
Yeah, when there was only 2.
On that Spider-Man #1, there was a 4th cover for the dealers or the LCS owners. So
really,
yeah,
there was what was it? Was it like a
It has like a
a
silver
blue or
trim,
like a
silver trim for the webbing or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
expensive to find when you find them.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things I wanted to touch on. There's a couple of things I wanted to touch on. Number one, we have to remember DC, Marvel, all of them. I mean, you can have like how many like Vampirella covers are there every time something comes out? Dynamite, whatever else.
Yeah.
These are businesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went through this once, I think, on Reggie's show too. They're businesses, and from that standpoint, I always think they're going to sell us whatever we're going to buy. So I don't think there's any saturation point here until people decide, like Wayne did, because he didn't have a lot of money and he had to go to the university. People decide, you know what? I'm just going to buy the A cover or the B. From my standpoint, I don't mind a B cover. Okay. Matter of fact, what I started doing maybe about a year or 2 years ago, because I was trying to buy every cover, that was out there for Amazing Spider-Man, Justice League. Then something came out and they had a bunch of covers. I tried to buy all the covers too, and it was ridiculous. So now what I do basically is I'll take a look at the A cover and the B cover. If there's a C, D, or E, and it's basically the same price as the A or B, and I like it better, I'll get that one. Yeah. So I look at what I like. I don't look at what I think, it's a 1 in 25, it's a 1 in 100, it's a 1 in whatever else, and so it might make some money. I'm beyond that. So I've kind of tried to manage it in that way for myself, is just taking a look and seeing what cover I might buy 2 covers if I think there are 2 that I like. But a lot of times it's like, it's got a silver webbing instead of white or whatever it happens to be. Big blanking deal, So what does that mean? To me, it doesn't mean too much. Maybe in 20 years it might mean something, but to me, that still doesn't mean too much. So that's kind of the approach that I've started to take with these things.
Yeah. Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
Well, I have like multiple viewpoints of the variant issue topic. Okay. We were talking about Dynamite. Dynamite right now owns the rights to Red Sonja. Whenever Marvel printed Red Sonja, I have every single issue. It's a Robert E. Howard pseudo character. It's really Roy Thomas, but he took parts of a Robert E. Howard. Anyhow, she's from the Conan world. I have them all in the Marvel, okay, because they're great stories. I am a completist. Whenever I collect a series, I want to have all of it. And if there's variant covers, I'm going to get the variant covers eventually, if it's reasonable, okay? The problem is Dynamite, seriously, there's 20, 30 different variant covers for every single book. There are artists I've never heard of. There are artists that I don't think have very good talent, shouldn't even be making covers. But you know what? They put them out there. So what do? Do I go chasing every single variant cover? Or do I just get the A? No, the completist like me gets frustrated and says, screw it. I'm not buying any of the Red Sonjas because I'm just so frustrated with too many covers. But then there's also the other part, okay? Sometimes hunting covers, variant covers, can be a fun part of the hobby in itself. Now, don't get me wrong. The Dynamite covers, there's too many for that to even slightly be fun. But if there are 4 or 5 covers per issue, and they're not overly expensive, that can be a fun challenge trying to hunt those down. Because, they're not always going to be at your LCS. Hopefully you're not paying too much shipping if you get them online. But so I don't like variant covers to a point, but then I do like variant covers on a different point. I think they can overdo it and chase collectors like me out of the market where I don't even buy any of the books.
But what about the prices too? I mean, when I was doing that Monday, top covers thing, obviously I looked at a lot of, variants and added them on to the list. And I actually had that thing where I had these little kind of clips where I showed all the variants in a particular issue that came out. I picked a couple that would look interesting, and I remember was it Stray Dogs, their second, whatever it was, series or something like that. I don't know how many covers there was. It was just annoying even putting together that video because there were so many covers to click on and copy and do that. But the one thing that I also don't like about the variants, and again, Dynamite is probably the biggest sinner when it comes to this, is they'll take a variant by a particular artist, and it might be like a Perillo or somebody like that, right? Or Perillo, I better say his name the right way, or he might get upset.
Whoa,
Italian.
But
anyway, but so the thing is this: so you might see a Perillo cover on a DC book, let's say, all right, and DC always is a little bit more expensive, maybe it's on a cardstock stuff, so it might be $5.95 or whatever, right? Then you see, and it's a great looking cover, and so you say this is terrific. Then you go and you look at a Vampirello or whatever, and Perillo's done one there, and it's $57 or $60 or $70. That to me is really the money grab, because people that don't decide like you do, Matt, hell with all of them, and they're completists, they're going to say, "Here's my $50 for that." Is that really worth $50?
It is if you're Dynamite.
Well, yeah, it's a Dynamite. And I don't know that they paid Perillo anymore for that. Maybe Perillo gets a percentage. I don't know. I don't know what his deal is. And I don't mean to pick on him. I'm just saying, he's one of the premier comic book artists right now. So why, what makes that cover more expensive? Now it could be, like a one in something cover, right? And that's another way that they try to build up, I guess, the angst or the FOMO, in people. It's a one in 100. Boy, I got to grab that one. I got to find it. I got to do this. Not only that, I'll go on eBay and pay double the price because I'm a completist. These are all problems, I think, in the variant cover area.
Last summer, I was at Doug Bratton's house, okay? Him and Dave Bratton, they were having a yard sale. Now, they also had another YouTuber there, Aaron from AA Comics. Aaron had this really awesome David, what is it,
Nakayama.
Thank you. Okay. Awesome artist. Okay. This cover was really high sought after. People were clamoring to try to get this one. It was a hot variant cover for that month or week. The problem with getting these really hot covers, the Perillo covers, or how do you pronounce it, Joe?
Perillo.
Yeah, Perillo. Okay, and I know I butchered it.
Perillo.
Yeah, I can't roll the R's like that. But anyhow, okay, so everyone is chasing after these really rare, exclusive variant covers. Yeah, then there's another one the next week, okay? Sometimes the same artist doing the exact same thing, and the cover that was hot, it's now not worth anything, okay? The one you were paying $57 for, if you just wait a month or two, you could probably pick it up for $5.99, just like your A cover.
So, Matt, there was a question for you here from Paul.
Okay, wondering if you saw Lady Death or whomever that was, Conan #1 homage variant. I did, and I almost picked up. The cover artist is the same guy that did Evil Ernie, Caputo. Okay. He actually did it, and I actually got one of his. I almost bought one of his artist proofs. Okay, they let them put out like 50 of them, but I saw that Lady Death variant. But I just don't really collect variants. It really wasn't a Conan book. Clearly a Conan homage, but I didn't pick that up. I saw that in Mississippi back in summer of 2020, but I just stayed away from it because I didn't want to spend $100 for a variant cover, basically. But I did see it, Paul.
So here's another question here. Are early price variants considered variant covers as well as newsstands? So I don't think newsstands are considered variant covers.
If you can find a 35-cent variant to Star Wars #1, you got a really nice book in your collection.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That book is considered a variant, and it is worth a lot of money because it's very rare.
Yeah. I saw an auction a few months ago, just after Eternals came out, and it was 2 copies of Eternals, one was the price variant cover, and I totally didn't clue in till the lot was about to close, and I'm looking at it going, I don't want to buy it. It was going for a reasonable price, and then I looked at the picture again. I'm like, it's the variant price cover. It's too late.
Oh, you almost got that for a steal.
I would have got it for steel too, but yeah, I think, yeah, I think it's a variant. I consider it a variant. Do you guys?
And to educate the viewers, what the 35-cent price variants were, back in the 70s when comic books were still 30 cents, Marvel would select certain cities across the country, maybe 6 of them. And what they would do is inside that market, they would put the price up to 35 cents to kind of test the waters to see if the books sold well at that price. And it was a trial run. And if they did sell well at 35 cents, well, then that was the rest of the books would end up following, and then they'd all be 35 cents. So the point is, across the whole, United States and Canada, they would just pick a handful of cities for those 35-cent variants. Mm-hmm. And they're relatively rare because people in those cities didn't know that they were different than any other comic book. So people, they didn't save them at any higher rate. And it was the 70s, where comic books were still not considered collectibles by everybody. So a lot of them got thrown away.
With these Dells, I remember the 15 cents.
Yes.
And that was one reason I didn't buy them.
Anyway. Yeah, so
back in the 60s.
Definitely with the variants, it's about exclusivity sometimes, right? The limited number, even with the price variants or the Mart Jewelers or a newsstand and all that stuff. And for me with the signatures, and I like to go into those areas for those reasons. So what I would want to say is the big gamble, the people that are gambling on this are the publishers and the local comic book shop, I think, because if they have to buy a bunch of books, cover A's, so they can get the higher level variants, they're taking a risk because they're going to get stuck possibly with a bunch of copies of the cover A. For us, I see it as we just have more options, right? These amazing artists, there are more opportunities for them to shine, right? It's more work for the artists, so that's really good thing. And we don't have to buy them. So again, the risk is all on the LCS, and probably they're taking the most risk. And we just have more options to see amazing art. So I like it. Yeah.
So you think for the consumer, it's good, but you bring up a point that I was going to get to if nobody did, but you're so smart, Steve, you got to it already. And that is kind of these incentives for the local comic book shops, when they sit down, then they have to buy a certain number and decide what they have to buy and how they want to do things. And the idea, quote unquote, as I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, is, you've bought this number, you now can get the 2, 3, or 4 of these incentives. You can sell them for a lot more money, so you can make more money and help you run your shop. Does that really work? Now, I don't know anybody who owns a comic book shop, but to me it seems like you just said, Steve, that there's a real risk with respect to that. I mean, what happens if you have to buy 100 of something to get this one exclusive and you only sell 25 of them later on?
So yeah, I've talked to some of my LCSs about that exact thing, Joe. They actually work together with other comic book shops to buy a certain amount, like as one purchase order. So then they all will split up like just that one order, but they'll still be able to get like that 1 or 2, 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 100 cover, because they've kind of combined their resources together. But it does seem like kind of like a money grab. So I'm going to bring up a comment here that was like probably from 10 minutes ago. So this was me. The first time that I picked up like a second book of the same cover, or no, of a different cover of the same book, I had no idea it was going to be the exact same book inside. And that, like, I see stuff there. I'm sure this happened to you as well. Like, I was like, when I opened the book, I was like, why did I spend twice as much money on the same book? So I ended up realizing that, as I continue to collect, I will prefer to go for cover A's, but I will also go for one other cover. right? Like I'll kind of force myself to choose one of the best other covers. I think variants are good. I think variants are cool when, for example, I found like this specific variant cover for Agents of Atlas. So there was like this new Marvel character named Wave. They only sold this variant in the Philippines. So I kind of emailed that specific comic shop. I was like, hey, can you reserve and save me a copy and like mail me a copy? I'll pay for shipping. And then the fact that there was like, different specific artists that I wanted to support that were like part of different countries or kind of other like kind of artists that are kind of up and coming. I think that's a good thing, but it's kind of hard to know like how much of this cover money goes to that specific artist versus like the publishers, right?
And you have to know those artists have completed those covers could be like months or a year beforehand.
That's true.
Because if you look, some of them will date them, and you'll see that this comic book that comes out, let's say this month in 2022, may have a date or a year of 2021 in there. But Wayne, Danielle has a question for you.
In the comments, this maybe dumb question: how do you know if a cover is a variant when it just comes out? Does it say variant on it? No.
Jeez.
Usually it doesn't. Maybe lost Joe.
Yeah, I'm here.
No, usually it doesn't. Usually there's usually an obvious cover A and cover B. If it's an incentive variant of a 1 in 25, 1 in 50, usually your comic shop will charge more for those. They'll put a premium. It'll might be $15, might be $30. Or it's 1 in whatever. I've actually paid up to $60 if I'd like to cover fresh off the boat. I've done it when I first got back into the hobby. I don't do that anymore.
I absolve you of your sins.
I don't do that anymore. But usually it's even if you look online, any online resource, if you want to just check, it'll tell you if it's a variant cover. Usually because it's an artist variant. Though one of the things I wanted to say is the good thing about variants, especially if it's a major release, like a first issue of a new series or something, and they give you 35 different covers, you can be a completist for an artist, right? This gives you an opportunity to enjoy the work from a particular artist that you like in Yek Lee or somebody like that. If somebody, or a Delato, if it's somebody you really love, you can get a cover A and go hunt that one book and add to your collection for that one artist that might be your collecting goal. I want everything by that artist. And that this provides more opportunity to build that collection. And that way you're not chasing every single variant. Because one of the other things that I find frustrating about variant covers is how many comic shop exclusives there are. Like if you've got a large comic shop and then you petition to have a variant for your thing, or you're an online personality, say like Comic Tom, then he has a variant of a cover of an issue. And then to go hunting to figure out how many there actually are for that book. Because even if you look at resources like mycomicshop.com or Go Collect to look at the various variants, they're not all listed. To actually find all the variants can be a real snipe hunt to sort of find what they all are. So to be a completist in some cases it's not impossible, but it's not worth the effort that one would put in to try to find every single possible variant that everybody's commissioned.
The problem that I'm seeing right here, I see at least 3 completist collectors in here. There's Wayne, there's Master Blaster, myself. I know that we're completists because we've all ripped our hair out, okay? Trying to hunt down all of these covers, all right? Now, Joe, listen, I want to get to what Wayne was talking about, being a completist, okay? You guys, I've talked about it. I'm a completist. I have a disease inside of me where I have to have all the covers. But, Joe, put me on a large screen because I'm going to start going through some of the madness that us completist cover collectors have to deal with. Now, okay. Amazing, or forgive me, Conan. And yeah, I'm going to show a Conan book, okay? This is what I do, all right? But I see Alan up there. He's like, of course. But, okay, so in 2019, Marvel got the rights back to Conan and Barbarian. We're not going to talk about them losing them. Okay, but here's what people like me have to deal with, okay? Now, there's a half a dozen books that are on my walls and CGC slabs that I'm not going to track down, but here's one cover. Now, this was a store exclusive cover. Unknown Comics, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to take a while, but it's going to get the point home, okay? Here's another variant. Variant number 3. This is the same book. The exact same story inside. This is not a new story. Variant number 4. Now, I told you, there's a half a dozen on the wall, so that's really variant number 10, okay?
Oh my gosh.
This is the A cover, 11. You got to have a Scotty Young variant, right? Okay. I'm not even a big Scotty Young fan, but had to pick it up. That's 12. Oh, wait, this is the, I don't know where they bleed it. They used to call them director's cuts, but 13. 14. This is another store variant. This is, I don't even know what store. Elite Comics, okay? So what number am I? Am I on 15?
I saw a signature.
Yeah, there is a signature. It's, yeah.
Of course,
that's
Steve,
just Matt
yes.
Woods. He just wrote on it, you know.
Yeah, that's right. So here's number 16.
I love the action figure ones.
17.
Nice.
18. Okay.
Oh my
Wait,
gosh,
that's
we're
the
getting
exact same
to a short
picture.
box.
One's just a sketch and one's not. So what number am I on? I've lost track.
That was 19.
20. This is again the same book. 21. This is another
Oh my
exclusive. 22. Cool little 1 in 10 variant.
I have a question for you after you do this, by the way.
Here is 23.
That one's
Ooh, I
dope.
like that
Here's
cover.
That's dope.
24. Okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
Claim.
25. Okay. Pretty much the same.
I would have bought those two and the hell with it.
Now, here's 26. This is actually the blank cover. Yeah, they actually have blank covers now. Okay.
No,
so
not
you
even
can
the
get
trade
it signed.
rep. Wow. Okay.
27.
20. Oh my gosh.
This is the second printing.
If
And
this
here's
were a
number
drinking
20.
game, oh my God.
Okay. So 28. The exact same book, the exact same story, nothing different. And guys, this is kind of barbarian. Whenever they came out with Amazing Spider-Man #1 last month, yeah, they might have had 100 covers for that darn thing. And they don't even tell you there's nowhere to go to find all the covers, okay? You know, like there's no website that has them all. There's a couple websites that have a couple, but not all of them. So you basically got to just keep on looking all throughout online, trying to find all the different variant covers.
Well,
That
are you
is
done yet,
insane.
Matt?
Just,
They were like, fish on, fish on.
This
We
is-
got
this is-
somebody on the hook.
Yeah.
it just blows my mind.
This-
You bought a cover
this
that's
made-
completely white. I don't know.
I'm sorry, Stephanie. What was that?
It blows my mind that you bought a cover that's completely white.
If I didn't buy that, do you know how my OCD would be bothering me?
Yeah.
There's one
It's
out
like you're
there I
missing
don't
it.
have.
You're missing it.
Yes.
But that brings up something that I actually found, because Matt, you were saying there was no place that you can find, you know, where every cover happens to be, right?
5 hours later.
I agree with you, but I found this one guy on his website. I'm going to bring it up in a second. That every so often updates the website with the 10 issues with most variants.
Oh, that's crazy.
So I want you to,
Spider-Man
I'm
1.
going to do the countdown here with you. So
Yeah.
I want people to guess what you think #1 and/or 2 is. I
Spider-Man
can't,
#1.
I know what it is already, but so
There's an
It's got to be
ASL.
Spider-Man 1.
I'm sorry.
It's got to be Spider-Man 1. I'm not even a variant hunter, and I've got, I don't know, at least.
You're saying the
20.
most recent one? Because let me tell
The,
you,
the most recent one or the one before it.
'cause
One
the
or the
list-
other.
the list that he put, the last time he put the list together was January 6th. I'm sorry. So
There-
anything after January 6th, I'll have to wait for the next update.
There was an Amazing Spider-Man, and I forget which one, but local comic shops could order, I think it was low as 100, and have their own variant covers to that one Amazing Spider-Man. And there are like 1,000 different covers. to that one book, and they're all different store exclusives, is what it is.
Well, you're right in that the Amazing Spider-Man was #1 at one point in time, but no longer is. So let me bring this up. Now, I mean, this guy could be doing Matt Woods all night, and this could be all wacko stuff. I don't know. But it's kind of interesting to see it. So let me share. Let me try to share my screen here.
Oh, I'm gonna make a guess before you go to #1 though.
Sure. Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna guess. Okay, I'm just gonna throw two out there. I'm gonna guess either Something is Killing the Children or Berserker.
Oh, yeah.
Well done.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, good.
I just remember way too many on my LCS's shelves. That's why.
Okay, let me see if I can bring it up here.
While you bring it up, Matt, how, like, for those 27, 28 covers, how many stores do you think you had to go to get all of those?
Interesting.
I had to do a lot of online hunting, a lot of eBay, a lot of my comic shop.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I don't really live near any good LCSs. I take that back. That's so rude for me to say. But I mean, they're just small, is what I mean. And I don't live near any super large ones. I have to go to Pittsburgh, which is about a 2-hour drive. So I was doing most of my shopping online for these covers.
Brandon.
Nice.
Hey,
A few
Brandon.
people just walked in. So I was looking around trying to, because I knew that we had the completists here, and I knew that Matt Woods, the OCD stuff. So I was trying to help him out. So I found this. So it's not really the answer, but I thought it'd be kind of interesting. So as you can see here, it's like January 6th is the first date. So let's see. So he starts out #10 is
there's a lot of
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin,
Is that
2016.
Dynamite?
76 variants. Is it?
IDW.
IDW. Okay. So #10 has 76 variants, which blows your Conan to
Yeah.
okay.
Out of the water.
Out of the water. #9 is Harley Quinn #1, 82 variants.
82.
Okay. Now again, they could be comic shop variants, other type of stuff that's there. #8 is Star Wars #1.
I knew that would be there.
Oh, 2015. Okay.
Okay, 83 variants. #7, Detective
Oh,
Comics
yeah.
Oh gosh! Now, oh man.
Yeah, I
How
have like
would I guess Marvel with
15 of
that?
those myself.
I have a bunch of them myself. Okay.
Those are thick books too.
They're thick,
Yeah.
and some of them are really cool covers. So,
Yeah.
and guess what?
No shock there.
#6 is Vampirella #1 with 27 variants from 2019. This surprised me.
I have that cover. I
You do?
love Godzilla. I did not know there was 104 variants. Wow.
The cover's pretty cool. I don't know what the variants look like, but that's a pretty cool cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
2011,
#4, Dark
okay.
Knight #3, The Master Race #1. 108 variants.
Wow.
108. Oh, I'm glad that wasn't Conan.
#3, this was the wedding thing.
Batman
This is when I
Yeah,
stopped
there's a
reading
lot.
Batman
Yeah.
because they didn't get
Oh.
married. They teased this whole thing over here for #50, so it was 104 variants for. And #2, which had been #1, is Amazing
Yes.
Spider-Man #666.
That's the one I was
145
thinking.
variants.
All the store variants.
That's crazy.
And the new #1, Walking Dead,
Oh.
Really?
253 variants.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first issue of Image Comics, widely popular. The Walking Dead has a bit of an odd path to its 246 and counting. Now it's 253 variant covers. Not all the variant covers of the first issue of Robert Kirkman's Zombie Saga was released at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
As its popularity grew and exploded with AMC's hit television show in 2010, the first issue was reprinted, reissued, and given lots and lots of new covers. So what really pushed it to the top? 157 store variants.
Wow.
157 store variants. I mean, that's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is amazing.
That is.
It's a bunch of opportunity for a bunch of people. So
Mm-hmm.
So So I found that for you, Matt. It doesn't tell you everyone that's there. Matt we lost his thing there, but it
You
is
know
of
what-
some interest, I think.
You know
I'm
how
still here.
surprised isn't there? Spawn. I would have thought Spawn would have been somewhere in
Oh,
there.
that's a good choice as well.
Me too. Now, whether or not
It's number
the guy
11.
missed it, because like I said, I don't know. It's just his website, right? But I just thought
Number
it was kind
11.
of interesting to see that, you know.
Mm.
I
So
don't know.
Steve,
Is Spawn
Stephen
known
pretty
for that
finally
many
stick to 8
covers?
covers.
Is
Wow.
Spawn known for that many covers? They
I think
did a
so.
bunch for 300. I think there were 15 different covers,
It was more
and
than
they
that.
did 11 for 100. But I don't think Spawn usually has that many. For a lot of those 1 to 300, there was just one cover in the book, no B covers or anything.
Well, I thought like King Spawn or whatever it was
Well-
had a lot of variants.
Oh,
They seem
okay.
to,
The new
yeah.
Maybe
stuff,
I'm
yeah.
wrong. I don't know.
Well, I think you could look at this list as being through the end of last year, basically.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
so I don't know if anything from this year came out. I guess we're gonna have to wait for him to update it to see how that works out. But I just have to say, Matt, you're really just lucky you're not trying to be a completist on The Walking Dead. That's all. I just
I don't think I would be.
but see, that makes it, because in many ways I was a completist as well. When the superpowers thing came up with Ross doing the artwork and the writing, when they took all of these, I guess they're no longer under copyright, so they're in the public sphere. These the Black Terror and the rest of these, and put them together, the Green Llama, whatever it was. I saw this. I kind of enjoyed it. I want to see how the story ended out, but I could have bought like 7 issues, but I didn't. I bought every issue, every cover that came out, including some exclusive. I think I bought one that was like $100 or something like that, you know?
Mhm.
And if I go and see what the value is now, it's probably worth like $5.55. I don't know. But I have all of them. So I guess it's cool.
Mhm.
Maybe I'll do a video on it one day. I don't know if that's worth anything, but I have all of
Right.
them. It's there. But to me, that was a completist. Now, the only ones that I really tried to be a completist on up until I kind of changed my whole approach was Justice League, because I was
Yep.
collecting them, and Amazing Spider-Man. All right. So I do have a lot of multiple covers for them, because I would just say, 10 covers, I got them, you know, just go on Midtown Comics, click them all, grab them all, you know, and
Mhm.
do that. Now, what I found out was that then you had other covers that made their appearances. So I had to feel comfortable with myself that I'm not going to have all the covers, because I don't, like you said, Matt, don't know how many there are and
Yeah.
where they are. So
Mhm.
that's an issue in and of itself. Anyway,
Now, there are some, I showed, it's kind of fun to collect variants. It is. Obviously, I see it 2 ways. I see where I don't even collect Red Sonja because there's just too many. I quit collecting all the variants for the Ablaze Conan books. But every now and then you see an extremely good artist that puts out something cool. Okay?
Right.
I love Mark Brooks. Okay? Mark Brooks
Yeah.
has some cool art. I'm really happy to have this. In fact, I might be going to Toronto Fan Expo. See that?
Oh,
Yeah.
Mark Brooks is going to be there.
Yeah.
If CGC's there, I'm going to have Mark Brooks sign this bad boy and
We're
ship
all
this off
going,
to
right?
the trade.
we're all going
What's
to
that?
stay over Wayne's house.
yeah.
Party at Wayne's. Okay.
Sure.
Wayne.
yeah.
August 25th, Wayne. That's it, right?
25th, 28th.
28th.
All
Nice.
right. I'm bringing the near beer. Okay. But here's why people, honestly, the gist of it, why people go after the variants. Every now and then you have a success story where the one variant is worth a lot of money. And everyone's hoping that they're all worth a lot of money. Okay. Amazing Spider-Man 569. Okay. This is a John Romita Jr. cover. This is actually a second printing variant. All this is this is a regular panel from inside the book. They just took it and made it into a cover. This happens to have the first cover appearance of Anti-Venom, who
Mm.
first appearance of Anti-Venom is in this book. This book is fetching a very nice price, especially if you can find it in a high grade. People expect to get this magic in a bottle or genie in a bottle every time they get a variant cover. They're hoping one explodes because they have little, there are variants out there that have exploded, but the vast majority of variants, they're not worth cover price a year after they're released.
Mhm.
Now, if you are a true comic book fan, you cannot beat the classic covers when they only came out with one cover. These are the ones that people are actually trying to hunt. They're actually trying to collect. The variant cover, it's a loser's game, if you will, if you're looking to make money. Because you might find out one ASM 569 out of 300 that you bought. But it costs you how much money to get the one book that actually rose in value just a little bit. So if you're just trying to maximize value, you're going after variants is not a good game. If you're going after variants because you enjoy the hunt for the hobby's sake, then it could be very worthwhile to go for the variants.
So I did pick up this one because I kind of liked the way it looked.
Yes.
Sorry.
Which
I like
one
the
is?
collages.
Oh, Mr. Garcon. It's is that
Oh.
25 or King Conan 1?
It's King Conan 1,
Okay.
the Mr. Garcin, I guess, or Garcon variant collage cover. that's
There's
there.
a matching cover on Conan the Barbarian number 25, and it matches. It's like the other half of Conan on there.
You shouldn't have told me that.
I'll do one better.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is, you're right, because
Yeah.
I am looking to complete. Nobody cares about this except for me, and it's going to be another video. Who said this? Somebody said here's a video for Joe.
Oh,
I'm almost done, but Roy Thomas. That's that it? Is that the
The
other?
other side. Oh, okay. Nice.
Okay, nice.
That matches yours.
So
It's awesome.
I am a big Roy Thomas fan, and going way back to the '60s, and trading letters with his mother. So weird. But anyway, and with that. But anyway,
That's a very
Inappropriate.
Yeah.
there is a video on it. It's all above board. I had Mr. Woods with me to make sure it was.
This is going downhill quick, Joe.
But one creation of his is Captain Carrot. So over the space of the last year, I've been looking to get the entire run of Captain Carrot and all the other appearances. So one that I've been looking for a while in a decent shape at a decent price was this. All right.
did you see my post,
nice.
Joe?
Yes. So I got it finally, and it has that pull out or whatever for Captain Carrot in there. So I'm almost done, and I'm looking for a few more. Once I get them all together, there'll be a Captain Carrot video. But that makes me feel good, and I didn't have to go looking for variants, right? Thank you. I didn't have to go looking for variants and get the thing off there, So I just went and got this. I got a couple more coming in that I found. I don't want to spend a lot of money. Some of them, people want a lot of money for them, even if they're not worth a lot. But to me, it's something
That's
I want
awesome,
to do. So I'm looking for that right now. So I'm almost there. And I don't go crazy looking for them, but I go sometimes on eBay or otherwise. If I go into a shop, I'll look through and see if I see something that I need. I have my list, and I pull that out. So to me, this is worth more than that King Conan number 1. I just got it because I kind of like the cover. But I might give it away or something. I don't know. But so anyway, so to me, I kind of agree with you, Matt. I think looking to get some. I have to admit, there's another variant that I picked up here too. Is this one? So I didn't get the purple one, unfortunately. Let me get
The no trade dress, man.
Yeah, but not the purple one. So I have to complain about that. So yeah, there are some variants that I'll look for that I'll go and get.
Nice.
Anyway.
So, did we answer the question that we wanted to start out with? Are variants good for the hobby, or are they bad for the hobby?
Yes.
Not to bring it full circle, but it's like I'm not sure if we think they are or they're not, or we're kind of all just kind of in between on this.
I think they're good. I think it gives us more options and lets more artists create, and so I'm all for that. So I think it's great.
I think it's good too. I think the point that I made earlier, where like it builds off your point, which is gives more artists more ability to get their work out there, get paid for the work that they do, give them more exposure, gives collectors more opportunity to collect the work of the artists that they love and enjoy. And it allows more variety for collectors to have. So you can be a completist if that's your jam, or you could be like, I only want all the ones from a particular comic shop or online retailer, and you can tailor your collecting to the type of variant that matters to you, or even the imagery. Like, for instance, I like the action figure variants.
Oh yeah.
So you can just like collect the action figure variants for everything you can come across, or those character design blueprint ones that you'd see, like those ones. Though you can collect all those, and that could just be your niche, right? So I think it's great for collectors to do that, provided people collect responsibly with the money that they have and don't go crazy, and know your limit, buy within it.
I like that. Know your limit, buy within it.
Okay, there's actually the Ontario Lottery Corporation's thing is know your limit, play within it for lotteries and stuff. So I just kind of ripped off that. So I'm not going to take. Yeah, I'm not going to take credit for it. I just sort of twisted it to comics.
That's awesome.
So we have 2 yeses.
I'm gonna go yes. I'm gonna go yes, mainly because like what the previous guy said before, it allows artists to put out more of their things, right? And I think this only comes up because I think we have this idea that like these publishing companies are driving the market, but I think we are, right? If we don't buy it, like they won't make it. But if, like, for me, I'm all about my local comic book shop, like getting someone, a local artist, to do their cover for something, and I'm really good on that, because I feel like I especially like if I could buy directly from that artist themselves, from their website, I'd prefer that than from, like, some of these big stores. So yeah, you got to keep it local sometimes.
Yeah.
See, I'm a yes and a no. I'm telling you, there's part of me that just can't stand the variants. There's part of me that kind of enjoys it. So
get off the fence, Matt.
I have not figured out if I like him or not yet. But my wallet clearly does not like variants. But I know the publishers love it.
Well, from my standpoint, I mean, I wasn't collecting in the 90s. So I know that they call the problem that happened there. I've seen it called variant gate, with all these variants and people thinking, that they're going to be made millionaires of it. And basically everything went to pot on that.
Put foil on everything.
Right. I don't know that that's going to be the case now.
Yeah.
And as I said, when I was taking a look at some of the stuff, trying to find, websites or whatever about it, just to get a little bit more knowledge about it, I see that people have been complaining about variants, at least for the last 20, 25 years, right? Some people have said, how they're not going to last and this and that. And what we're seeing now is more and more variants put in there. From my standpoint, I mean, I love seeing, and that's why I started that cover show, because I saw some of these covers. I know people buy covers. Some people don't even read the stories that are inside. They just buy the covers. So to me, that seemed to be something that people really focused in on. And I've seen some really great covers and some great artists that maybe we would not have seen or not have had. So that joy would not have been there without the variant cover. From my standpoint, I would just say that I just think they've gone overboard, and I think I'll end with what I said in the beginning. If people keep buying it, they're going to keep making them. And if you're going to spend $50 or $100 on it, like I did that one time, they'll charge you $100 if you'll buy it, because they're a business. They're in there for business. We are the fans, but we are also the consumers, and as consumers, we spend money. They make money. They make their livings that way, and if we spend the money, they're going to keep putting out a product that they think that we want or we like. And the story has to have some substance to it, obviously. But if you're a Spider-Man fan, look at I stopped reading at number 55 because I just couldn't take it anymore. I have them all, since that time. And I'm decided I'm going to have to kind of get back into it so I can see what's happening now. But I did that because I had been collecting them all. And as an aside, since I was collecting them now for, I don't know, 10, 15 years, I started going back and I said to myself, oh, wow, I was just looking at some of them to see what was there. Now, I don't even know if I have the list here anymore. But I looked at it and I said, oh, wow, I have this comic or that comic. And I didn't even know that I had it in my collection. And when I look at it now, if it's like a 9.8, like that original Sin one I had in my collection, I brought it to the New York Comic Con and I had Ramos sign it. And it came back like a 9.8 because I read it once, I bagged and boarded it and hadn't looked at it in years. And I have a few other ones like that. So from a spec standpoint, I'm an accidental speculator. Only because I bought all these different comics at the time. So that goes to what you had to say, Matt. So there are a few of them in there that I know are going to be worth some money. So that's good for me. But from my standpoint, it's really like, I think it's just overboard. You know, I mean, maybe there should be some limit, like 5 or something like that.
Aren't people voting with their dollar, you know, when they're buying the variants, though, by popularity? I mean.
Yeah, I agree, Steph, because I think at the end of the day, anybody who has a variant that's like a comic shop variant or something like that, they have to get permission from the publisher. They have to arrange the art and they have to have a minimum. And they wouldn't be putting that money out unless they knew they were going to sell them. Like history shows it's going to sell. So if people stopped buying them, buying with their dollar, Stephanie, they wouldn't have all these variants because people wouldn't put the money out to potentially take a loss on their investment. And they clearly aren't losing because there's more and more. So,
well, there's psychological issues here, it seems, right, man?
Well, there's always 2 sides to every story. Sometimes there's more than 2, but okay, we're looking at it as the consumer, as the collector's side. But you know what? There's another side. There's the publishers and there's the artists. The variant covers are opportunities for artists. Now, I have seen some of Stephanie's portrait drawings that she has done, and she is extremely talented, more so than you, Master Blaster. Anyhow, poor guy. But I just wonder, Stephanie, do you see all these variant covers and think of job opportunities? Because they do pay cover artists to make these books, you know, make these covers. I'd be like trying to get in on that game.
No, you're awfully kind. I don't think I'm quite up to. I've seen those variant covers and they're beautiful and talented, and it's really jaw dropping the talent that's out there right now. I think so.
You should do a Lady Death cover.
Yeah. Or a cover with a goat on it. We know she can do that.
I've seen one of those. I'll have to pull one out. Oh,
yeah,
right
get ready.
Here it is.
Here we go.
Oh my God.
Look at that goat. Wait, where is it? There he is. The guy's ugly, but the goat is really cute.
Nice.
So you got everything like really close to at hand here.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm sorry, I missed the last part, but I went downstairs because, you know, and we were talking about this. You know, I stopped doing the Monday show because I told him, I said, you know, I've joined like a singing group. So I'm taking some singing lessons and I want to go back and take some drawing lessons, you know. And they were saying, well, why did you do that? I said, because when I was younger, I was actually pretty good at it. When I was teaching school and there was some activity, I used to draw basically a superhero. Like I made up one, Captain Garbage, when it was cleanup day, for example. So I didn't realize I had any of those left because Captain Garbage was actually stolen by the assistant principal. And he had it in his, you know, had it in his office at home. I thought some kid took it, but when I went over his house, he had it hanging up in his office at home.
It was impounded.
So, what was that?
Yeah.
It was impounded.
Yeah. So I actually was looking through some old stuff that I had, and I found one of the posters that I made when I was teaching school in the early 70s for a fundraiser. And when I looked at it, I said to myself, I patterned this after Neil Adams. So
Oh,
since you're just talking about that, I ran downstairs and said, oh, let me show this thing while I have it here. So let me make myself bigger. Oh, you
yeah, I
already
got
did
you.
that.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get that there. So this is a fundraiser. It's not the whole thing because it fell apart, but this is, let me see. So this was patterned after Adams when I
Oh,
put it
that's really
together.
good.
Oh, nice.
That's
So,
beautiful.
I always had problem with arms and stuff and things like that. And I was always working on that. But as a practical matter,
You
It's better
shadow
than Rob
it.
Life.
I
That's
was
awesome.
I was decent. And so I'd like to be able to do some of that again. Now, if DC or Marvel is looking, I'm available for a variant cover.
Yes.
I'm just available.
Yes.
So just, Anachronic Comics, Anachronic _ comics in IG. Send me a note. Let me know what you want. I'll put it together.
Yes.
Hey, I
Love it,
actually
Joe.
thought
Don't do independent covers anymore.
we should throw down
No,
a.
but Matt, if you send me your blank cover, I'm happy to do a Conan for you.
Oh, I'm afraid of that result.
I would be afraid too.
We should throw down a art challenge with the comic crowd here, where we'll pick a character, and next month we show it off.
Sounds good. I'm game.
Matt,
I make sloppy stick figures. There's no way I could do that. My artistic talent is in my carpentry and cabinet making, not so much in my drawing.
well, it might be fun to see your stick figure Conan,
Yes.
whatever you got.
You'll be a variant cover. It'll be a variant cover, Matt.
Well, let me think.
All
I
right, we'll
don't
put
know.
a pin in it, but I just thought that
Yeah.
might be funny.
That would be funny.
Hey, I'm going to erase Randy Snake's name next to
Yeah.
this, and I'm going to put Matt Woods, okay? So, Randy Snake didn't do this. Matt Woods did.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Exactly.
Right? Sorry, Randy. That's awesome art. I will not take credit for that.
Oh, the
The
current art
artist
done on a
left. He's
computer.
coming back with something.
They're done both ways. At least, and I've spoken to some of the artists at Comic-Con too. And what I understand is there are some that still do, pencil and ink, but many of them have moved over to computers. The key here is that, at least the way, again, that I understand it, I could be wrong, but this is what I was told by, I think it was a Marvel editor and Humberto Ramos about 3 years ago, because I went to a Marvel panel and Humberto Ramos was there drawing Spider-Man. And when he drew it, some people rushed up to him and wanted it, wanted his drawing and stuff like that. But he said, we're going to give it away at another panel or something. So I was talking to them about it and I said, well, don't you really own it, right? Or whatever. He goes, well, actually, I do own this. And what he told me and the editor agreed was, if the artist does it on a computer, then the company owns it. If the artist uses pencil, pen, and ink, then the artist owns it. And that goes way back to Neil Adams and stuff that he worked on way back when. So
I did
that's
not know
a
that.
distinction
That's
I
a good fact.
understand. If maybe somebody in the chat or somebody here in the comic book crowd can confirm that, that's what I understand from what I was told that by Marvel too. So.
Wow. Had no idea about that.
Yeah. So it goes both ways. I think it depends sometimes on the age of the guy or gal and what they're used to as well with respect to that.
Yeah. Man.
Okay.
That'd be tough to do some art and have somebody else own it.
But that's how they make money. That's how they made money, because a lot of them, I mean, look at a lot of the artists back in the 60s and 70s didn't own anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they finally came up with this agreement, it allowed them to make some extra money by selling their artwork that they had from the comic books and so forth. And so I think that was a big change, as I understand it. I'm when I had this discussion with Neil Adams about telling him, I didn't know you did all this stuff. And he started yelling at me saying, where the hell have I been? Everybody knows that I did all this stuff. He mentioned to me, he goes, this was a big deal. Then now we own our own stuff, and we draw it and we own it and we can sell it so we can make extra money. Because they weren't getting paid that much even back in the 60s, 70s to make these comic books.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. So, Steve and Stephanie, if you want to do the drawing thing, come up with something on Instagram and send it out to us, and we'll see if people want to do it or not. Okay, we'll follow up. I kind of think it's cool. I'm out of practice. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to do something.
Look at Matt sweating over there. Don't get any comic book sweat. Wayne hasn't said a word. What do you think?
I did Just the Rican's Lamer Frame one time, drawing a game show online, and it was interesting. It was really bad. I'll do it. I'll do it. I don't have any shame, but it won't be good. I'll tell you that right now.
Rod's invited me a few times, and I'm like, dude, you have no idea how bad I am.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out.
Ooh.
Well, I'm sure mine won't be any good either, but it'll be better than Matt's.
Well, we already know who's going to win.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so I think we all kind of said Matt said he's not sure whether he likes variants or not. I said I think it's overdone, but I could see having variants. And Alan, I think you voted a thumbs up, as did Wayne and Steve. I don't know, Steph, did you vote on them or not?
I think variants are awesome, of course.
Okay.
I think
She
the more
gives
the
it
merrier.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
All right. So I think that's the answer, Wayne. I knew you wanted an answer to the question, so I think we got the answer to the question.
Yes.
All right, guys. Anything coming up on your channels or something? And I mean, Steve and Stephanie, your channel is exploding. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's
We're
great.
having fun.
It's a ton of views. You're getting like subscribers like there's no tomorrow.
It's a fast-growing channel.
Up that Matt Woods
Matt
guy
Woods.
soon.
Yeah, Matt.
Matt Woods.
Thanks to Matt.
Matt dropped a video today and just gave us all the love in the world. We're very grateful.
That's
You got that was a fun video to film. Actually, I was just telling a cool story.
Yeah.
That was an interesting story. It was pretty good. We lost Wayne though. He went to go buy some number 2, 3, 4, and 5 pencils.
He's already starting.
He's practicing for his drawing.
So Alan, anything coming up for you?
Nothing really coming up that's like consistent. I'm just trying to experience the comic book community again, and whatever spurs or inspires, I'll create content kind of based off of that. But nothing consistent right now. Just trying to revamp the channel.
Okay. And Matt Woods, are you at 2,000 subscribers yet?
Oh no, not even close to it. In fact, I think that Master and Madam Blaster will hit 2,000 before anyone else does.
I know, it's amazing.
Okay, they're just going right through the roof. So.
But you know something?
Oh.
But you know something, Matt? When I saw their intense growth and everything, I decided to go back and look at the earlier videos. And when Steve was doing it, he had 5 subscribers, 6 subscribers. As soon as Stephanie got on, it just shot like crazy. Not only was the quality of the video so good, the subscribers just started coming, and the views, hundreds of views on the, 5 views, 10 views, 15, 150 views, 225 views. It's just amazing.
We know where the talent is. It's not Steve.
It's not.
I'm sorry,
If I watch my own video over and over again, is it counting that as views?
I don't know.
But Alan's last video was quite entertaining. I really enjoyed that. Joe's always popping out good videos. Guys, if you're in a chat and you're not watching everyone's videos, and it's hard to watch everybody's videos, I truly get that, but there's a lot of good YouTube content being dropped right here in this panel. So, kudos to everybody for your creativity.
Thanks. Well, I have a video coming out on Wednesday that in some ways is I'm cheating. So you have to kind of watch the video to see why I'm cheating.
Starting
my
next
videos usually come out. I've got down to once a week instead of 2 or 3, because I want to do my other stuff. But yeah, my videos usually come out on Wednesday, 6 a.m. Eastern. So if you want to check that out and see why I'm cheating, you have to take a look at Wednesday's video.
We'll check it out.
Okay.
Nice. Really nice.
All right, guys. All right. So I want to thank everybody in the chat that showed up. I mean, it's great. Some people came in late, and I'm sorry if I missed you. I see Mark Andrews is here as well. Cindy is here, I see also. So hopefully we've acknowledged at least everybody, either by posting, one of your comments or mentioning your name. And if not, too bad. I'll do like Reggie. I think I'm all caught up, even though he hasn't seen like 150 of the things that are there. So, hey, I think I'm all caught up. Okay. So, and thanks for the questions. Those are great. And
Yeah, that was great.
These type of things, the questions are really helpful, because it gives us something to respond to. And again,
we
if you
really have the best. Oh, sorry. We really have the best chat. The people in the chat are so loyal. They show up every single month. They put in a lot of comments. Absolutely appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'll go back after after we film this, and I'll read all the comments. And sometimes you're just funny jokes. Sometimes they're great questions, but every single one of those comments is appreciated.
Absolutely. I second that. As well. So we do this once a month because we're too lazy to do it twice. And, so next month we come up with a date. It's usually the 3rd or 4th Friday evening. And just remember, and I think I'll end it with this if I can get it straight, about Memorial Day. If you didn't see the video in the beginning, I'll show it up now, and then we'll wave and say goodbye. All right. Take care, guys. Thanks.